Hey, today we're going to go to Ohio. Now, I know you always think of Ohio as a place for wine, but actually there's a lot of wine going on in Ohio. And the place we're going today is Vermilion Vineyards, and they are in the Lake Erie AVA. So you're going to see some really good wines here. Vermilion Valley Vineyards is co-owned by Joe Juniper and Kristi Juniper, and their dog Gordy, who you're going to meet, one of my favorites. And we're going to taste some great wines. This is a very forward-thinking winery. They do a lot of natural fermentations. There's some really forward-thinking people. I like these guys a lot. They're, as I say later on in the video, their love for what they're doing is infectious. And when you taste these wines, you feel the love in the wines. This is a fun place. You're going to love this. Sit back and enjoy. Vermilion Valley Vineyards is located in Ohio, in northern Lorain County, in the town of Wakeman, Ohio. It's the eastern side of the state, placing them in the Lake Erie AVA, approximately 10 miles south of the shores of the Great Lake. There was a time at the end of the 19th century when Ohio ranked third in wine production in the U.S., exceeded only by California and New York. Back then, most of the state's vineyards were located either along Lake Erie's southern shore or near Cincinnati. Those wines were made from dozens of Labrusca-type varieties, including Duchess, Ives, and Missouri Riesling. Prohibition brought Ohio's wine industry to its knees, and it has only been revived in the last decade or so. Today, Ohio hosts close to 250 wineries, and its vineyards are planted with both vinifera and newer hybrids. Vermilion Vineyards conforms to sustainable practice requirements, working the land in ways that maintain the soil quality and minimize chemical usage are the standard daily practices of the farm. Co-owners Joe and Kristi Juniper are a dynamic team. They run the vineyard, do the winemaking, and tend bar. Joe is also on the board of directors of the Ohio Wine Board. And of course, there's Gordy, the ubiquitous and wonderful winery mascot. The vineyard was planted in 2007 and the winery opened its doors in 2009. They grow Gewürztraminer, Treminette, Riesling, Chardonnay, Moscato, Pinot Noir, Chambourcin, Dorffelder, Cabernet Franc, and Cabernet Sauvignon. Vermilion Vineyards practices natural winemaking, open-top fermentation, low to no sulfites, and this is an estate wine, meaning Vermilion Valley Vineyards is committed to growing 100% of its products right there on site. Then it was off to the tasting room to join Joe and Gordy for a tasting. Wherever you go in the winery, it's hard not to see Gordy, and it's always a pleasure. It's impossible not to like Joe. He's opinionated, but he's incredibly passionate, and he loves what you do, and his excitement is infectious. First was the Pinot Gris. The Pinot Gris is a clear, pale lemon color wine, lovely nose of fresh apples and citrus and some nice floral notes. Apples and pears on the palate, nice acidity, long lingering fruit. The Gewürztraminer was spectacular. Super spice, lychee, peach, apricot, honey, slightly off dry, but with excellent balance and complexity. Slight grapefruit ending left the mouth puckering. This was one of my favorite wines of the tasting. I was really intrigued by the Pella series of wines. Joe has utilized skin contact on some of their whites since 2016. For him, it's a viable tool in their winemaking toolbox. Creating balanced wines in variable climate employs many techniques to recognize the grape's full potential. Whole cluster white wines made like red wines with full grape skin to wine maceration. Joe considers both of these orange wines. Don't let the color fool you though. If you like natural orange wines, you'll love these. Pelle Renano is 100% Riesling. The wine only stays 7 days on the skin, so there's less color than one might expect, but more influence than just skin contact.
A big Riesling with intense flavors and a nice acidic finish. Palamisella is a field blend of 33% Gewürztraminer, 33% Gruner Veltliner, and 33% Mueller Thurgau. The Masella is always more than 30 days on the skins. This wine is bone dry, much darker color than the Renano, but still not orange per se. Big, deep, aromatic orange wine with tremendous acidity and great flavor. Un plein air, meaning painting in the open. This is a kitchen sink field blend. Decisions were literally made at the crusher. They did a natural, local, indigenous yeast fermentation without any SO2 addition. It's bottled at approximately 1% residual sugar to allow for fermentation in the bottle. The label says risky and unpredictable, nothing added, nothing taken away. It's got a lovely cider-like nose, earthy, baked apple, cranberry, lime zest, nice and fizzy, decent acidity, fresh apple, fresh cherry, fresh plum, a great afternoon wine, lovely. Vermilion Valley Pinot Noir is light to medium bodied dry red with bright acidity and silky tannins. Lovely notes of cherry, raspberry, blueberry. It's earthy, smooth and easy to drink, lovely fruit forward red. Beautiful. Vermilion Valley Chambourcin was a lovely black cherry, black pepper, crushed gravel, spice with cocoa and firm acidity, low tannin, a really nice dry red wine, a great food wine. I'm going to let Joe tell you all about his Cab Franc.
This is our 2017 Cabernet Franc, Vermilion Valley Vineyards, 100% estate-grown fruit. Cabernet Franc is our heart and soul of what we do here at Vermilion Valley Vineyards. We typically break it down into 12 to 15 different lots, different clones, different yeast strains. We go extended maceration, typically for 30 to 60 days on it. 15 different lots. We blend back for complexity and we find the perfect wine. 2017 Cabernet Franc.
I liked the Cab Franc. Good fruit, nice long finish, well balanced, certainly one of their best sellers and what the winery has established its reputation on. Cabernet Sauvignon was unfiltered dry red, nice intensity, fresh dark cherry, cranberries, blueberries, floral nose with hints of earthiness. On the palate, lots of stewed red fruits, earthy, spice, nice acidity and tannins, well balanced, a really good food wine. The Vermilion Valley Chardonnay ice wine was terrific. It was this big, thick, unctuous dessert wine, dried apricot, honey, lots of apple and pear, some tropical fruits. Beautiful, beautiful dessert wine, and it's held up by the acidity at the end, which it keeps it really honest and without being cloying. Really lovely dessert wine. Last but certainly not least is the Vermilion Valley Chardonnay Late Harvest. Now this is not as thick as the ice wine. This is a lighter style dessert wine, not as sweet, not as unctuous, but certainly absolutely delicious. Lots of great flavors, again with honey and apricot. You've got lovely fresh pears, fresh apples, great acidity, which again keeps it a really well balanced wine. Both of these dessert wines were off the charts. Gordy says you gotta come to Vermilion Valley Vineyards.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I want to thank Joe Juniper and, of course, Kristi, and, of course, Gordy for his excellent services. Had a great time tasting there. Joe's a terrific guy. You're really going to love meeting him and Kristi, and you're going to love tasting the wines. Like I said, one of the most forward wineries, certainly in the Midwest. A lot of great wine going on in Ohio, and you really got to try some of this stuff. Get your hands on it. Great stuff. Thank you very much to Joe and Kristi. Great place. Really looking forward to coming back. We'll see you next time.
Well, that's it for this edition of the Great American Winery Stroopwaffle. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you'll come back soon. And in the meantime, drink local.